Oh yeah, you're right. Welcome to the channel. Um, so it's come out today that one of the candidates of the Green Party, and you all know who I'm talking about, he's been exposed as not actually being a real hypnotherapist or not registered with a hypnotherapist. And I'd love to know who he is trained with, if he has in fact been trained. I'm starting to believe that these people are all just paid actors. You know, as I said before, there's so many gatekeepers out there. Um, you know, I'm just wondering how many of these people are actually actors, trained actors. Because if you go back and start looking at it all, you'll start seeing like connections. What? Huh? Anyway, so yeah, I'd love to know the truth on this because obviously he's not registered. But as you can see behind me, I am. I'm properly registered. I'm properly qualified. I know what I'm doing. So, yeah. But anyway, it is my mission to kind of wake people up to what is going on out there, what's going on within our minds, and how we are actually programmed in what we believe. All right. So I just want to read a little bit out of my book. You can see it up there. Programmed into reality. I don't know what's going on with the page numbers on the print because I've double checked it and it's, but anyway, so this is just a little intro here. For years I watched people struggle with patterns they didn't choose, beliefs they didn't question, and emotional habits that didn't belong to them. I saw the same thing in myself, old programming running in the background, shaping my choices and limiting my life. And this is so true. You once you start understanding it, you get it. You know, everything you're looking at there, it's programming you. All right. So through my work in hypnotherapy and subconscious transformation, I have learnt something remarkable. It has taught me so much. This is unbelievable what it has done for me in my training. And this is why I don't want people like Zach Polanski to be putting a bad name out there for hypnotherapists, because we're bloody good. You know, we're good. We're good people. We know what we're doing. We are. When you realise the power of your mind, I would encourage you to train too. So where were we? So limiting my life. So through my work in hypnotherapy, yeah, and I'd learned something remarkable. When you understand how the mind works, you can rewrite your entire reality. And I've actually done this. I've rewritten my entire reality. And if you might think it's crazy, all right, there's films out there, Back to the Future. All right, now in my work, we go back and we do things metaphorically. All right, so in my mind, I went back and I've changed what it was. I've changed my perception of what it was back then. And now it's playing out in a different timeline. Do you see? You'll get what I'm saying when we go along. So you can rewrite your entire reality. And this book is my way of sharing that understanding. It's a deep and personal journey, a human one. And if you only take one message from these pages, let it be this: you are not broken, you are programmed, and programming can be rewritten. So, you know, and it really, really can. Your mind, you can rewrite your mind however way you want it to. And we're already doing that. I mean, when we're watching the TV, when you're driving, when you're just going out for a walk, we're on autopilot and we're really in hypnosis. You know, we're hypnotized. And then people are sitting there watching TV, certain programs, certain things, and it's hypnotizing them. You look at a kid when they're sitting there watching the TV, you know, or a cartoon or something. They're like that. And you call their name And they're like, they don't move because they're hypnotized by it. So be careful of what your kids are watching as well, especially things that get more sort of like for older audience. Don't start letting them watch all this shit going on in pubs and like on EastEnders or Corrie or what. I don't watch any of it, so I don't know whatever, because I used to, but no. But when you're letting your kids see that, it's imprinting it into their mind, and they will start playing it out. So when you wonder where your kids doing certain things that are naughty, it's because of certain things you're letting them watch on the TV or what you're letting them listen to. So we live in a world where the mind is constantly being shaped by influences we rarely notice. From early childhood to adulthood, subtle suggestions become powerful beliefs, and these beliefs quietly build the reality we experience each day, which it does. So let me go just into my first chapter. All right, I'll go into my first chapter. I'll read you a little bit of it. And by the way, I did get help writing this with ChatGPT or whatever it's called. I've been learning how to use all the internet last year. As I said in one of my last videos, I've done all my training. I've done everything else. Last year, I was took a lot of time on learning how to put things together, books. So yeah, even though I got help with ChatGPT, I did direct it. I did tell it what I wanted. I did tell it, however, and I have had to read through it before I approved it. So yeah, so it ain't so bad actually. I mean, even my other book up there, Healing Power of Hypnotherapy, I've got that with help from ChatGPT. So if you are learning things, do one. Do one. Get on there and do one. Find out how to write a book or put a book together. It took me bloody ages, but I've done it eventually. Again, power of the mind, because I could see it. So just a little part of chapter 1. We move through life believing we are thinking for ourselves. We assume our opinions are chosen, our reactions are natural, our habits are personal, and our beliefs are self-created. But beneath the surface of every decision is an invisible network of influences, impressions absorbed quietly and continuously, shaping how we think, feel, respond, and interpret our world. From childhood to adulthood, we are immersed in suggestions disguised as everyday life. Television narratives, advertising messages, family dynamics, cultural expectations, emotional experiences, unexamined beliefs, repeated stories about who we are and what life is supposed to be. These influences do not ask for permission. They do not require awareness. They slip beneath the conscious mind and take root in the subconscious, the part of us that accepts everything without question. So it's a bit like sprinkling seeds, and then the roots growing, and then your tree growing, and then that's what it becomes. And then we accept it all without question. Most people never realise this happened. They wake each day feeling this weight of patterns they don't choose, anxiety that wasn't theirs, doubts inherited from others, fears shaped by old environments, beliefs formed before they had the ability to understand them, behaviours repeated simply because they feel familiar. The truth is simple yet profound. We were programmed long before we knew we were programmed. So that's just a little bit of it. I mean, I might as well go through the first chapter with you. One sec. This book is not about blame, fear, or exposing hidden enemies. It is about awakening. about seeing clearly how you become who you are and discovering how to consciously reshape the mind and one that once ran on automatic. And this is where I say, I was an alcoholic, and what it is we run on subconscious, on like an autopilot. So every day of waking up, it's like an autopilot. I grab that drink, and like some people, every day, every morning, they go flip the kettle on, grab that coffee, or whatever. Every day, go and grab that. It's an autopilot thing, and that's what. Um, so we go on autopilot. Um, so it is about awakening, about seeing clearly how you become who you are, and discovering how to consciously reshape the mind that once ran on automatic. So we've repeated that one. This journey begins with awareness. Awareness of how the subconscious absorbs information. Awareness of how repetition creates belief. Awareness of how emotion forms identity. Awareness awareness of how experience mold expectations. Awareness of how your inner world became the lens through which you see everything. Awareness is the first crack in the old program, the opening through which transformation enters. And it is this voice at that part um, when it all starts to crack, and it's like, hold on, something's not right here. And literally your brain will only open up and see what it's ready to accept. Okay? It will only open up and see what it's ready to accept. So if you haven't seen certain information at the moment, once you've gone through certain stages and you're ready to accept this information, you will start seeing that stuff come across you, and you'll start learning more and seeing more, and that. You will, once it cracks, once that thing cracks, you will literally start transforming. Because once you see the invisible influences that shaped your reality, you gain access to something far more powerful. You can choose what to keep, you can choose what to release, you can choose what to reprogram, you can choose the identity you step into next, you can choose the reality you build from here. And that is exactly what I done. I chose to build a different reality. I went back and I changed it, and I changed everything, and I've changed it now. And here I am. I've actually got 7 diplomas. You can only see like a couple up there, but I've got some more there, and I've got another one over it. Anyway, but yeah, going from an alcoholic to all of that, I think is all right. Shows that anyone can do it. So this book will take you through that process step by step. First, you'll uncover how the world hypnotizes the mind through repetition, imagery, emotions, and cultural conditioning. Then you'll explore the architecture of the subconscious itself, how it forms beliefs, how it builds identity, how it shapes your reality without your awareness. So if I go back to that first part about the imagery and emotion, when we're looking at certain imagery and we're reacting with emotion, all right, that's where our energy is going to go. If we can, it's like, as I say, energy flows where attention goes. So this is where, we've got to deal with our emotions. We've got to keep our emotions in check rather than screaming and shouting about a lot of shit. We've got to go inwards and we've got to do it. We can do it, and we can keep calm, and we can deal with the emotions. Okay? Keep them in check. It's very, very important. After that, you'll learn how to dismantle the outdated programs, heal the emotional residues attached to them, and create the internal environment where transformation becomes possible. Finally, you'll step into conscious creation, installing new programming, embodying your future self, recalibrating the nervous system, and living from the unbroken identity within you. This isn't, get this out. This is not a book you simply read. It is a book you experience, a journey into the depths of your mind and out of the other side, awakened. By the time you finish, you will no longer be living as the old product of. Sorry, let me say that one again. By the time you finish, you will no longer be living as a product of old conditioning. You will be living as the architecture of your reality, intentional, aligned, conscious, and deeply aware of your own power. The program, once you've lived, the program you once lived inside of is not a prison, it is a structure, and structures can be rewritten. Your awakening begins now. So I apologise for not being able to see and going a bit like this, but my lighting's that way. My lighting's gone that way, so I need to maybe turn it around and put the light down there so I can see it better. However, so that was just chapter 1. All right, and just if you want to go and get this book, if you want to go and get this book, okay, Programmed into Reality, How We Hypnotise into Reality and How We Wake Up. You can see it all there. Just go into Amazon and you can order it and read it. I mean, as I said, I don't know what's gone on with the. Let me have a look. I'll show you. Just so you don't have to order it if you don't want to. But on some of these pages, like them pages, I've double checked this, but it seems like that is not the same as what I have on my Microsoft Word. But as I said, I have been learning stuff, and if I make mistakes along the way, it is what it is. It's all a learning process, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, please bear that in mind. Just start thinking about these kind of things. It's the way we change everything. Okay? Let's reprogram our reality. Let's do it.